Hello everyone. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I am Becca and I do arts and talk about my art and also my small business. But today we are doing mostly art, and since this is the video that was supposed to go out yesterday, but life was lifing, um, welcome. Um, I am going to be doing this pretty illustration while I talk to you guys about art style. If you guys saw by the thumbnail, I had a pretty different art style. Technically, I have been working on my art style for years, and when I started to actually find a style that I liked, when I stopped focusing on art style. I'm not saying that you shouldn't look for your art style, that you shouldn't focus on finding something you like. Maybe you simply like an artist for how they draw, or even an animation you fell in love with. I know I had various animations that I loved, especially being a Disney girl. Well, not lately, but yes. So when it comes to actually looking for your art style, my best advice would be don't look for it. Just implement things that you like to your art from other artists. Like if you like the way someone draws an eye shape, or you maybe like the way people draw noses, like I have been constantly right now trying to fix the way I draw my noses. I used to draw them really pretty, then I changed it to a cartoony way, then I changed it back again. So I was very uncertain on how I wanted to draw my noses, but now I know I want to keep drawing my noses in a very semi-realistic way, or maybe a little bit more realistic, because I think it does look better. So even though if it will be like a semi-realistic, I still want it to be maybe a little bit more realistic than usual. See where I'm always at on changing how I want to draw my noses, and that is okay. That just means I'm learning and I'm finding what I want to draw, and that's how art should be. You discovering how you want to draw things, not just simply going out there and drawing 300 images a day, because that one is gonna give you pain in your hand, and trust me, I've been there. So I just think that you guys should just take a step back and literally, if you're going to implement going for an art style, try finding something that's you really love, and just, well, taking bits and pieces from everyone. I think that is the best way to find something you actually like. I loved drawing realistic lips, but I am also a really big cartoony fan, as I've always said. And I also love Steven Universe, and I loved how lush the lips have always been drawn there, and also other cartoons as well that I've seen, animations. I'm saying cartoons, but it's animations anyway. It's the same thing, whatever. And I also wanted to implement that style in mine, but I didn't really know if it would work because, as I said, I really do love a semi-realistic illustration, but sometimes I do get caught up in actually just wanting to draw it a little bit more realistic, maybe a little bit more realistic, but I find that that's okay because I could actually just have two styles that I love, or a little bit more, and that is technically fine. You can be the artist that has multiple art styles. If you go back into this channel, you see that when it comes to my art, I have really changed a lot from how I used to draw, proportions, the head, the nose, even the body. I have gotten so much better, and that is simply because what do I like to do? I want it this way, and I just go out there and I see an artist that I like. I do not trace. Please don't trace and say the art is yours. Please don't do that. Just practice with the artists that you like. Give them the just like, if you did, just put it and post to be like, oh, I did a study, this is the artist that I studied from there. give them credit where it's due. Do not be that person that steals other people's art. Okay, please don't do that. So I myself, when I was learning, I used to do that as well. Technically, even when you're a child, you also do that as well, because we're and a child is an artist anyway. We want to recreate like an image we saw. Like, I used to love Dragon Ball Z, and I didn't know how to draw Goku's hair or like Vegeta. So if I had pen and pencil, I would, well, paper and pencil or pen, I would normally like trace, and eventually I realized that I traced it so much that I was able to actually know what I wanted to do in that image, and I knew where I was going wrong, and it just started to become natural to me. So it's not actually a bad thing for you to trace. You just have to do it in a more learning phase of your life. And a lot of artists nowadays, especially with Gen AI, they don't understand that that is how you're supposed to do it. You're not supposed to use AI to like rip off and steal other artists' work. You're just supposed to learn from what you can learn from it. And the things that you can, like wonky hands, yeah, no, that you just have to go, you have to practice. Even the best artists struggle with drawing hands. It's okay. Take your time, learn how to do your art. It's so great to see like artists just trying their hardest to get their art better. Me, it's actually just an artist thing that I've realized, especially for creative people. And it doesn't matter what creative person you are, if you're if you're an illustrator, if you work with literary, just being a writer, it doesn't really matter. Even if you're like an actor, you will always think that you could do better, that you could have done better, and that is okay. That is just literally you wanting to get better, but you also have to take a little step back. And when it comes to art style, the best way that I found to get better and also to not be sunk into this, oh my god, someone's art is better than mine issue, just let it go and go draw. Oh, I want to get better at drawing noses. Take some time off, take like 30 minutes, an hour a day. Oh, I don't have an hour a day. Take 10 minutes. 5 minutes of your day. Just pick up your sketchbook. I know you have a sketchbook lying around there somewhere. I know you do. Just take that little sketchbook and go and learn a little bit of how to draw that little part of the body that you don't know. You want to get better at drawing eyes. You want to literally draw eyes, like, let's say anime eyes. Go practice how to draw anime eyes. You want to learn how to do noses like Sarah Tate. Go practice how she does it. Go look at it. Like, literally use her work as reference and turn that style into your own. Like, put in your own way of doing things, but literally learn, because every artist learns that way. They learn literally by copying other artists, not by stealing their work, but by heavy referencing. And eventually that heavy referencing starts to die out. The minute that heavy referencing, when you're practicing, starts to die out and you start implementing things that you would want to put better, that is when you know you're getting there. You're not stealing someone's work. You're not trying to be that artist. You're literally becoming your own artist, because now you're implementing your own way, and that is when you know that you are actually developing a really good style. So just pick something you like. You like the way someone draws ears? Pick that. You like the way someone draws noses? Pick that. Go little by little, and eventually you're gonna start becoming a really good artist. I know that's the way I learned it. If you guys know, I learned art, like, I learned a lot of art Over the years, I started with digital art, but I've always liked traditional art. I went back to traditional art and I started doing more colored pencil art, even though colored pencils take a really long time to do. And it's the slowest medium possible, but it's also one of the mediums that actually taught me how to render colored pencils, and like rendering colors afterwards became less of a hassle for me because I did that little phase. But when it comes to digital art, one thing that I do know, that before I stepped into this traditional phase one more time in my life, I was doing all of my illustrations with gray tone, like the grayscale, though it's not my favorite, but I was doing it with grayscale. I'm not gonna lie there. But I did end up learning where I was going wrong, and eventually with how much I was doing the grayscales and learning how to blend, especially with lights and shadows, that I decided, you know what, I don't really want to do this for me. Not because it was hard. I just like having line art on my illustrations. So I went back into having a more cartoony with more line art, and I love it until today. It's just something that I really love and enjoy. And that's what I want you guys to understand. Finding your art style can take time, and it's the best time you can possibly have, because you are going to be doing things naturally. You are going to be implementing your own way of doing things, and you're just going to have time to just be yourselves and just enjoy what you're doing. Don't make it a hassle. Don't make it something so like, I forgot the word right now. Don't put so much effort into something because you might just get burned out or just not wanting to do art anymore. A lot of people get art block, especially I used to get art block, because I'd put too much pressure into something that wasn't supposed to have that much pressure. It's a learning phase. I wanted to get better. Yes, I wanted to have the best illustration. I wanted people to talk about my illustrations. They already did talk about my illustration and how I used to draw, but I was always pushing myself too hard, and eventually I stopped drawing. So don't put that much stress on you. Go slower, do everything slower, and you eventually are going to have the best time of your lives just learning how to find your art the way you want it to be. If you're a comic person, then learn from comic. What did they do? How did they draw? There's the Marvel way of drawing comics, if I'm not mistaken, because I used to love reading comics and I'm actually back into it, though I'm reading a lot of manhwas, so as even for now, you want to draw manhwa, you have an infinite source of how to learn how to do that. So don't be scared to dabble out and to just take time learning. Don't take unnecessary shortcuts that will lead you into becoming a person nobody wants to work with or like doesn't trust. Just take your time and you're gonna get there. Art is something you develop. Even Renaissance painters, they also took their time to develop their arts. They also criticized themselves heavily when it didn't turn out the way they envisioned it. For us, it was a masterpiece. For them, it was just, it was meh. They could have done better. If they had those kind of critiques, that just means they were human, and so are you. You want to be a painter? Learn from the masters. You want to do digital art? Learn from the pros. You want to go in traditional art? Same thing. Art is not just something that you can sit down and be someone else. Do your art style. Learn who you are and your art style will come eventually, or even sooner than you think, just by letting go. If you guys enjoyed this video and still here, please don't forget to like this video, and here is another video for you guys to watch. And I'll catch you guys next week. Bye.